next reader is a Southern person living in Chicago. Her poetry chapbooks include No Experiences and Breathtaken, and her essays and criticism appear on the Volta blog and in the forthcoming zine, We Can Turn the World to Gold, a Carly Rae Jepsen fanzine. She was a 2018 semifinalist and a 2014 finalist for the Gwendolyn Brooks Open Mic Awards. Please give a warm welcome to Erin Watson.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks so much. So I'm going to read a prose poem about forgetting, and then I'm going to read some dad jokes, and then I'm going to read some poems about remembering from my chapbook, Breathtaken. Okay, this is called The Woman Who Forgets. Today you will go to see the woman who forgets. She has a small round room with smooth stone walls. It smells like sage and salt. Tiny yellow leaves scatter their constellations on the floor. The woman who forgets has a mourner's face. The lines around her eyes write resilience. It's important that you focus on her face. The lines that gather like leather around her eyes, the clipped edges of her gray hair around her ears, the way her mouth straightens at the corners as she hears another story of regret. She seems to shape something round and living in her hands. She seems to knead life into some tiny animal's heart. Her hands flicker across the coarse brown blanket in her lap. Her eyes tilt down and she says, "It is forgotten." The fee is a piece of something you don't want to forget. A photo, a charm, a letter. I didn't write down what I brought and now I'll never know. It is forgotten. I placed this blankness in the table where her stone crow sits, shimmering, a lively thing. Gray weathered wood with a hatch like a mailbox. If you have brought the thing that is worthy of memory, the crow will gulp it down and the yellow bulb will buzz on above the door. If you have wavered in your commitment to forgetting and the fee it takes, I've heard that the crow's open eye starts to pour blue-black smoke, hissing into the room, and your shadow follows you every night, like a scavenger. When the door to the stone room closes behind you, you'll feel like your heart admits new light. The yellow leaves can be beautiful again. You'll feel a stony, heavy knowledge sinking away, sinking out of your spine. After the sinking, you won't know the yellow leaves were all around you while you lost your way. When you sweep them from your front step, you sing a song from a dream. It is forgotten. All right, so. There's more stuff. This is the dad jokes. So this is Chicago Cubs manager Joe Madden, who I believe to be the dad of baseball. I was recent. What's that?
And her double neighbors.
I still didn't hear that, but yeah, he's a dad. I think he's just objectively a dad and literally a dad, and to entertain myself because I'm still only medium entertained by baseball and usually only when it's hobby bias. I started tweeting every time I saw baseball's dad on the TV during playoff baseball in 2016. So there's been some playoff baseball since then. And I don't know if you know this, but the people who own the Cubs are horrible people.
Yes.
So it's problematic, you know. But so I had these little zines, and I hand-picked a couple of charities that I thought would really piss off the Ricketts family. And I will sell you these zines to generously piss off the Ricketts family. So yes, baseball's dad. That's pretty much what it is. So here are some dad things from the adventures. Don't make baseball's dad come up there. Baseball's dad hands you a crisp $5 bill with stern instructions not to spend it all in one place. Baseball's dad cues up Let's Go Crazy on the hi-fi and pours a glass of the good scotch. Baseball's dad knows he raised you better than this. Baseball's dad is proud of you no matter what. Baseball's dad tosses you the car keys. Have fun, kid, he says with a wink. That was when they won the World Series. You get the car when you win the World Series, baseball signs. Baseball's dad hangs up an extra Yankee Candle air freshener so you can't smell the joint he just smoked in the Baseball's dad will give your Nintendo back once you apologize for what you've done. Baseball's dad replies, "Hi, Cold, I'm Dad," to your complaint about the weather. Baseball's dad just wants you to trust him. The shortcut will work out great. Baseball's dad gives you a pep talk, but it's just him calling you sport and slapping you on the back until you cough. Baseball's dad is eating Golden Grams straight out of the box in his underpants. Baseball's dad is going out for a little drive to clear his mind. Don't wait up for him. He'll be just fine. You guys are so generous. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you to Andrew and Eden for having me back. I'm going to read a few more short poems from Breathtaking, which is a zine of poems about swimming pools and other things. Above ground pool. Born rusted, the swing set across the yard left a scar that stays these 24 years on my left knee. Diving rings fall in bright red and purple, end paler than old bruises from the chlorine. A circle bounded with fake wood, twin to the Toyota that ran out of air conditioning one early summer. And in that brown paneled blue thing in the water, radiant along the circumference, we were 5 then, setting ourselves in girl-boy-girl heights, sister, brother, and friend. Our variously child-sized bodies moving around in a deliberate paced circle so that the water would spiral, so an eye could open at the center, tow our weight toward together. Myth or a memory? I haven't asked anybody. South Road, Chapel Hill. Trick question. The skin is the largest organ, and I gather the water beneath it. Glass walls point up over a greenhouse growing tired people. One panel cracked under the voice's weight, and oh, we are all so young, we'll say later. Oh, now everything collapses into one line. One light, one blue point. I am walking past the cemetery and the elderly ginkgo my brother will define for me in years. Yes, years and years in the same skin that returns to its boundaries. Closing in on sunset, one rectangle of light turned on its side and twisted, warping like wet wood. One light opened down like the unattended 8th floor roof door. You and I stand on top of the library, pointing our arms out towards the cities we chose. One light broke down on me like defiance. How we knew without knowing the undertow, how we were held without holding at the edge of everything. I gather the water wide in each arm. I make a bushel towed to the hip bone and burst it above. Balloons and lanterns, eyelashes, wishes following the horizon, little flames, little strangenesses, follow me out of the light. And this is the last piece I'll read. It's called Sanibel, Florida. Thanks again. Seawater hovering in open windows, causeway at night, gardenias and ocean, sweetness and air, snail-shaped stones crushed in the driveway among the little hardy plants, Grandpa telling me to make the shapes of swimming, house full of cooking sounds, breathing both above and below, breathing into being new. Constant comment iced tea, alligator pond beside the lemon tree. I am reaching with my arms that are my mother's, her sister's, my brother's. Unborn arms and ancient arms. My mother's father moves each elbow, shows us how to laugh in Russian and rhyme. Abide and abide. Yes, and I remember reaching for candy. I remember remembering. Coming to edges. Blue pebbled tile and terracotta bounding the water. Return and return as the lush world comes alive. Pinecone and spore, seaweed and nest and nettle. The jittering coquina, the diving things in tide pools. The shining flecks barely seen, the things the tides waver in and out of reach. Stardust scraps, bursted balloons, the shutter that says aliveness. I would live again as a red walking mangrove, long arms plunged into shoreline at the angle of sun, season to season. I would walk again with family limbs, look west in wonder, look alive, exit singing as the hard edges of remembering wear down, sea glassed in green late light.